What up, and welcome to the Wing and a Prayer podcast, a show about all things Seattle Mariner baseball. I am your host, Andy Wing. Thank you again for following me, coming back to the show. We got one day until opening day, and I'm here to give you a quick update, talk over some big hits, and cover all the major things right before leading you up to opening day. Reminder, you can find the show if you're new or if you're looking for it. You can find it most anywhere where you find your podcasts, including now video on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, Audible, and many more, pretty much wherever you want to find it. On today's show, we are going to hit some of the really important things to get you ready for the season that's starting tomorrow. We've got a few big things that just happened that we're going to hit. Number one, Cal Raleigh extension. How excited are you about that? We're going to talk all things Cal Raleigh. We're going to talk over Mitch Haniger and everything that happened leading up to his being cut from the team. And then a little bit of how are we feeling heading into the season? Are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? Are you feeling apprehensive? Are you trying to protect yourself? And then what are you most intrigued about? And I'll tell you mine, but think about that for yourself. And then what are you most worried about, too, as we head into the season? We all think about what we're worried about, and so I want to cover all of that. And then end it all off with opening day should be a holiday. Thanks for being here, everyone. This is the Wing and Prayer podcast. Let's get going. Cal Raleigh signs a 6-year, $105 million extension 2 days before opening day. Mariner fans, can you believe it? I know we've been clamoring for this. If you follow anybody on X, every time that man hits a home run, everybody's like, pay the man. Pay him. And they did. And, what led to this is in last November, he cut ties with Scott Boras, which if anybody's followed Scott Boras, he does not have a great relationship with the Mariners. He has not spoken highly of the leadership, and it's just been almost a rift ever since like A-Rod signing back in 1. And so there was long thought that with Cal Raleigh having Scott Boras as his client or as his agent, that a deal would not get done and he'd go to free agency. And so Mariner fans are like, are we only going to have him for 3 more years, or what's the plan here? And especially this offseason where the Mariners didn't spend any money, you're like, well, gosh, at least pay your own guys. But, getting closer to opening day, it's not really happening. And then to get this announcement out of nowhere is just incredible. Like, he was with the Brock and Sock show down in spring training and talked about that he's open to an extension. He doesn't need to go to free agency, which is like, really? That's what we love to hear and want to hear from our stars. And so what this deal does is it buys out the last 3 years of his arbitration eligible seasons and then 3 years into what would be free agency. He had 3 years left with team control where the team owned the contract and can control his pay, and then he would be eligible for free agency in 3 years. Well, this gives him about $17 million a year for the next 6 years, and it gives him some security, and it doesn't. Like, yes, he could wait till free agency and make less money over these 3 years and make it up. But you have to make a lot more after age 31 with a catcher sometimes with the wear and tear. They just don't survive as long and are that productive. And so we all hope he is, and it's a risk worth taking, but it's a win-win. Cal Raleigh gets paid now. He gets security. The Mariners lock him up. So if he keeps ascending into being a superstar, they've got him locked in for the next 6 years in the prime of his career. And this is also a ode to Mariner fans. Like, hey, we're investing in our own. If this is the A's or Tampa Bay, they're letting that guy walk or they're trading him to get value back. And the Mariners are like, no, we do have a limited budget, a little bit, yeah, but we can still spend money and we're going to sign our own players. They've signed Julio, they've signed Cal. Now, does this open up the door for Logan Gilbert? I sure hope so. Logan Gilbert's in the same spot. He's got 3 years of arbitration eligible left, and I believe this opens the door for them to sign him. And honestly, with the CBA coming in 2 years, who knows what's going to happen with that? And did that influence this deal? Maybe it did, and maybe that is going to influence other deals, and we just hope that it gets things moving with a guy like Logan. And Logan has said, I don't want to throw to any other catcher in my career, and hey, lock him up now, and maybe you'll get what you want out of that, and create that partnership for years to come. It's a good day for Mariner fans. This is a good signing. And on like a couple days before opening day, they're going to give him his platinum glove at the first game tomorrow night. And if he was going to get a cheer already, but man, he's going to get an ovation. The man that hit the home run to send the Mariners to the playoffs, the literal legend of a catcher. It's just an awesome thing. I'm so excited. I hope you all are too. I don't care about the risk. The team, we talk about them needing to take risk. This is the right risk to take. It's the guy homegrown talent. They talk about draft, develop, and trade. Well, this is develop. This is develop and sign and keep, and they're doing that, which is exciting. And I'm excited to see what this brings next. And I'm excited for the year that Cal has on the heels of this. And they're not paying him crazy money, but Cal deserves it. He's just a stand-up dude, great player. I mean, Platinum Glove Award winner. I mean, that is saying something, because if you don't know, Platinum Glove Award winner isn't just the best catcher in the game. That is the best defender in the game of baseball. Shortstop, pitcher, outfielder, doesn't matter. Cal Raleigh was labeled the best defensive catcher. And he hit 30 home runs, knocked in 100 RBIs. Yeah, his average isn't that great, but I don't care. Sure, it'll get better. I'm sure he's focusing on that. But the guy slugs, the guy knocks in runs, and the guy is a superstar catcher behind the plate. So, Cal, you deserve it, and I'm excited to have you around for the next 6 years. Mitch Haniger. So Mitch Haniger was recently released by the team as they ended spring training, ending his career with the Mariners. Don't know what this says for his Major League Baseball career if another team wants to pick him up, but it just seemed as this spring training went on, there wasn't really a great fit for him. Now, the Mariners gave him every shot to try to make the team. Partly is because he had a 1-year deal for like $15.5 million. And I think they wanted to see it through to see if he had something to offer to the team. And maybe he had a bounce back from last year. And it just never really got off the ground. He dealt with some injuries. And after about March 10th, he never really got into a game again. And also Rowdy Tellez jumping on the scene and putting on a show in spring training and showing he still has value and worth and can play good first base. That kind of made the decision for the team. And we'll talk about Mitch Haniger's legacy in a second, but I want to speak to the team making the right baseball decision. It is tough when you got player emotions and fans that have loved Mitch Haniger for a long time to say he probably doesn't deserve to be on the team. And that's no shot at him. There's no shot at the person that he is. He's getting a great Mariner, and I hope they recognize that in the future. This season, where things were at, the time was just to move on. And I think Mariner fans thought the only thing standing in that way is money. And if you owe the money anyway, why not move on and just put the best roster you can out on the field instead of worrying about dollars and cents? And what do you know? The Mariners made that decision. Baseball-wise, it was pretty obvious, but would they actually pull the trigger on eating $15.5 million for a guy not to play and then put other guys in that spot? And they did, and that's honestly the best baseball decision. And as Mariner fans, you want your team to make good baseball decisions, not just because it's budget or not just because of other reasons. And that was a good baseball decision. Signing Cal Raleigh, that's a good baseball decision. Now, Mitch Haniger's legacy with the Mariners, it should be celebrated. This man came in like 2017 and helped keep this team afloat even when they weren't making the playoffs. And he was an offensive leader. He would lead the team in many offensive categories and just carried them in times when things were a bit bleak. He had some great offensive years where he upwards of 30 home runs, nearly 100 RBI multiple times, and his best year, 39 home runs, 100 RBI just a few years ago. And then he ended up leaving after that season to go to the Giants, but only 1 year, got injured, traded him back to the Mariners, which looked like a good deal. Just started out hot last year and just didn't have it as the year went on. I hope Mitch is celebrated. I hope fans cheer him and give him a great send-off, but it's just time. And I hope he has his day to come back and be a part of the organization in some capacity in the future. But Mitch, loved watching you. Great Mariner. Look forward to seeing your highlights for years to come. And honestly, the big play back in 2021 when the Mariners were trying to overcome their drought and make the playoffs, and they had one of the second to last game of the year against the Angels. They were down 1 in the bottom of the 8th, and he's up to bat with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And that famous Dave Sims call, and he's been like 3 for 3 on the night with like 3 RBIs by that point, and laces a single with a 2-2 count to left field. And Dave Sims is freaking out. Base hit left field. Here comes JP. He scores. JP to the plate. He scores. Mitch Haniger. What a night. What a night. And that's just one of the coolest calls and one of a great memory in Mariners history. So shout out to you, Mitch Haniger, for a fantastic, fantastic memory in Mariner history. So, Mariner fans, how are you feeling heading into the season? Are you excited? Are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Are you protecting yourself? I had a buddy tell me not long ago that he's predicting 78 wins. I'm like, 78 wins? And he's like, Andy, I'm just protecting myself. I hope for more, but I just gotta throw that out there to protect myself. I'm like, you know what? Fair, respect. Too often, like last year, I said they're gonna win 93. Boy, was I wrong. And I'm an optimistic person, and so it's interesting just to get people's different takes. So what's your feeling? Are you optimistic, pessimistic? I'm sure many of the people I know that listen to the show and are my buddies, the people I talk to, are pessimistic and just I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, get it, like, get to a lead and we'll see. But you know what? Last year they had a 10-game lead and they had an awesome start. They got a hot start and they lost it. So maybe let's have a consistent start and consistent play throughout the year. But no, I'm kidding. But seriously. So I am feeling, I just get excited around this time of year. I know they have a good team. I know they got a good pitching staff. I know they got offensive players that can have the opportunity to play much better. And so if they get that, then they could be a really good team. And so I can't help but be excited and just hopeful and optimistic. It's just who I am. And I see the upside, but I'm also wary of the downside. So we'll talk a little bit about what I'm most worried about later. But right now, I'm just feeling excited. I can't wait for tomorrow. I made the mistake of planning a work trip right when opening day starts. So I'll be on the road, but that's okay. I'll still catch an inning or two. And I'll record it and watch it later. So all good. But I'm excited for opening day, heading into the season. I'm very optimistic and hopeful they can do some damage. And what are you actually now most intrigued about into heading into this season? I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. For one, Victor Robles. Victor Robles had a fantastic year last year. The guy was cut from the Nationals, no good, can't play anymore. I can't hack it. You know the line from Sandlot. And Mariners signed him, and honestly, I don't think anybody thought, like, if it works, great. If it doesn't, who cares? It's no money. And he turned out to be like the MVP of the team. Like, he hit 330 in 70 games, stole 30 bags in 70 games, and it was just a lightning bolt for the team. And he seemed comfortable, found his way. They signed him to a 2-year extension. So what Victor Robles are we going to get? Are we going to get the superstar we got last year? Are we going to get the guy that can't really play? Are we going to get something in between? I am really curious and intrigued to see what plays out. I'm pretty confident he's going to be pretty close to what we saw last year. In spring training, he looked comfortable and raking. So who knows what that means? It doesn't always mean much, but I'm really confident that he will have a solid dynamic impact on this team, and his energy is out of this world. I'm intrigued also by our bullpen. Matt Brash is coming back. He pitched the last game of spring training. He is throwing gas off of Tommy John surgery. And so if we can get him back in a couple weeks, that is fantastic. And so getting him back, obviously Andres Munoz, we still got like guys like Trent Thornton in the bullpen. And they didn't have the greatest year last year. Munoz did well, but they lost a lot of games in the 7th and 8th inning last year. It wasn't just the offense, especially towards the end of the year when they really were struggling. And so will this bullpen bounce back? Will they have a better year? With Andres Munoz, with Matt Brash, Gregory Santos, if they can get a full year out of him, I'm optimistic they're going to be better, but I'm intrigued. How's it going to work out? How's it going to play? I'm also really intrigued with Jorge Polanco playing third base. I am unsure that's going to work. He wasn't that great at second base. Now you need a little bit less range, but third base, we've had the benefit of having really good defense at third base over the last few years. And so how's that going to work out? Now, Demo can play third. He can play second. He can play short. And I like the fact that it seems like he's going to be more of a utility player, but he's probably going to get regular rotation around the infield. And Ryan Bliss is going to be the second baseman, which I like that look. Ryan Bliss hitting 8th, give him an opportunity, up and comer. I really actually do like that. Also, J.P. Crawford, down year last year. What does that look like? I'm confident he can bounce back, but we don't know. I mean, he had a great year 2 years ago, and we all thought he was on the upward trend. And last year, it just didn't work out. So is it going to work out this time? Is it not? I don't know, but I'm really intrigued, especially him hitting 9th and not the pressure on him. He can get on base. He can hit some home runs, slug a little bit. I think his biggest superpower is getting on base, and he needs to do that in his defense. And so I'm intrigued with him. And the last player I'll talk about being intrigued is Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver, if you look at his stats, every other year he has a really good year. And the odd number of years is when he have really good years. It's an odd number year, folks. So I don't know if you're superstitious, but you might be a little stitious. And I'm hoping for a big bounce back year for Mitch Garver. He really needs it. The team really needs it. If you get a 275, 25 home run, Mitch Garver, and OPS of like 755, 800, that's a different team. That's a different team. I mean, obviously Julio, but that will help carry the team. And I will say one more. I'm just intrigued if Julio can take that next step to be the MVP type player. It's his fourth year in the big leagues. Other superstars around this time really blossomed. And so this is the opportunity to take it to that next level. And he seems super determined. He seems very locked in, less jovial and more like, I'm coming to got business to do. And in spring training, he lit it up, and it hasn't always been the case. It doesn't even mean a whole lot, but just to see him comfortable and going the other way with balls is an important thing. So those are the things I'm intrigued about. What are you intrigued about? What sparks your interest as things you want to pay attention to as we go into this season? So conversely, we'll talk about how we're feeling. What are we intrigued about? What are we most worried about? What are you most worried about this upcoming season? Honestly, for me, it's the bullpen. The bullpen struggled last year, like we talked about. There's a lot of injury concerns. There's always is with bullpens. Sometimes bullpens do great. Sometimes they're terrible. So I'm just hoping the Mariners can put together a semblance, get guys back from injury, and just be healthy this year. And that would be a huge opportunity for them. But you just never know what it's actually going to play out. What's it going to look like? And so I'm really concerned about the bullpen, the way that's going to shape up. I'm also worried about just infield offense. With Ryan Bliss at second base, if he starts off slow, how long until they yank him out? How long of a leash is he going to have? Jorge Polanco at third, if he's not hitting or not playing good defense, what are they going to do there? And so it'll be really interesting to see, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. I know you're going to say, all of you are like, I'm worried about that too. So that's what I'm most worried about, is the infield offense and even the defense. Outfield defense is going to be legit, but infield defense, Bliss at second, JP at short has been kind of a waning defensive player, but he's still good. Polanco at third, Rowdy Tellez at first, which is actually a pretty good defender. So we'll see, but I'm a little concerned about that. And we have seen last year, I remember over and over again, defense at times cost them games. There needs to be a new stat in baseball that's not errors, but missed plays. Too often last year, they had missed double plays, missed balls in the gap. They just didn't quite run down that should make, and they're just not. So it'll be really interesting to see this year how that all shapes up, but that's kind of what I'm worried about. What about you? And finally, on this shortened podcast episode, opening day. Opening day should absolutely be a holiday. We should get it off work. School should be out. We should celebrate as a baseball community and just enjoy the day. Get with some friends and watch some baseball. And I actually am going to be working, but I'll try to catch the game in the evening while I'm on the road. But I went to the game last year. Wish I could be there this year. But to all of you that are going to the game, just savor the moment. Enjoy it. Baseball is a festival unlike anything else in the regular season. So get there early and just enjoy everything that's a part of it. It is a super fantastic time, and I hope if you're going, you enjoy it. But just get together with some friends, watch the game, check in on some other games throughout the day. There might be some crazy stuff that happens, and I just think opening day should be a holiday. It's not really an Andy's rant, but more of a statement. Opening day should be a holiday. That's it for me, everyone. Thank you for jumping in this quick episode. I want to get you ready for the baseball season. This is Wing and a Prayer podcast. My name is Andy Wing. You can find the show all the places that you find your content, including YouTube on video, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, and many more. Thank you again for listening. Download, share with your friends, and have a great night. Go Mariners. Opening day tomorrow. Talk to you soon.